Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Owais, a financial risk management professor working in the UAE, and in this video we'll talk about a very pertinent and very much asked questions, which is whether a finance or risk professional should be pursuing a FRM certification or a CFA certification. So I'll discuss 3 points that will help you in making this decision. So let's dive in. Bismillah. The first step or the first key question that you have to ask while selecting between CFA and FRM is, what is your core objective? What is that you want to do with this particular certification? So for example, if you are a risk professional which is working in a banking sector, the obvious choice would be an FRM. So you are already a risk professional, you are working in the operation risk management department, for example, or in the credit risk management department. You are already dealing with the risk regulation. But if you are someone who is sitting in an asset management company or intend to join an asset management company, then maybe CFA would be more relevant. So what you have to do is you have to analyze what your core objective, and maybe you are sitting in a bank but your interest lies in investment. You want to move in the investment management department of the banking sector, or you want to join an asset management, something that interests you. So what your future objective is, that is something that you have to see. When I started studying for FRM, I joined PwC right after my graduation, and that was the time that I was working in the risk management department, and everyone was actually applying or appearing in the FRM exam. So it was a natural choice for me. I never thought of attaining an FRM certification, the CFA certification. Maybe I do sometime in the future, but since my core objective was to remain in risk management department, it was a natural choice. Now the second point is that your background matters. So when we talk about the prerequisite of FRM and CFA, the difference is that FRM doesn't have any sort of prereqs. So if you are a college holder, if you have completed until 12th grade of education, you can of course appear in the FRM exam. There isn't any barrier to entry. Now of course, this FRM certification is actually equivalent to a master's, so there is some expectation that you would be knowing, and it is actually a technical subject, far more technical than CFA, but that's an advantage. So if you're someone working in the financial sector for a very long time but don't have a degree, and now you want to follow or pursue a certification, then FRM is your choice. Or as compared to that, CFA actually needs an undergraduate degree. So usually we have seen that people in the final year of their graduation actually appears in the CFA level 1 exam. Now when we talk about the background, yes, there isn't any barrier to entry in the FRM examination, but FRM examination is considered to be more technical as compared to CFA. CFA is more generic, FRM is considered to be more technical. So if you have a degree in actuarial science or risk management, that for example, this is my core area, this is my undergraduate, and if you have studied economics or data science, these are the areas. If you have studied, it would give you an edge while studying for the FRM exam. But if you have any generating, for example, a degree in investment or in finance, that would be more relevant to CFA. So having said that, your background matters, and you should be considering your background while going for both CFA or FRM or CFA certification. Now the last and probably the most critical thing is that CFA requires more efforts in terms of both time and money. So for example, FRM has only 2 levels. So FRM level 1 and FRM level 2. You can complete whole FRM certification in less than a year if you're able to clear both levels in the first attempt. Now the cost that it goes, if you register early, the maximum cost without considering any other study material would be around $2,000. So it's a fair deal. Less than 1 year, $2,000, and you are done with a globally recognized certification. On the other hand, CFA requires more than 1 year. So they have introduced I was seeing this marketing campaign from the CFA, and they are saying that you can attain a CFA in about 12 to 14 months if you clear it in the first attempt. So they're marketing that as well, but usually it takes more than that. So roughly 2-3 years is something that you should be targeting if you are appearing in CFA exam. Now, when it comes to cost, the average cost for CFA certification, including the study material, would be around $4,000 to $6,000. Now, it depends on what's the time requirement like, if you are registering early or not, and other factors. But it's more costly and it takes more time. And when it comes to time in terms of study hours, since FRM has 2 levels, the average requirement for study hours is about 600 hours, so roughly 300 hours per level. Of course, it depends on the background that you have and the experience that you have, but roughly that's the suggested requirement by the GARP. And CFA Institute also suggests somewhat 300 hours for each level. So for FRM, you would be studying around 600 hours, and for CFA, you would be studying about 900 to 1000 hours for the 3 levels. So this is also something, if you want to invest more, if you have more time available with you, of course you may go for the CFA. But if you want to do something quickly in less than a year with less hours and less investments, then of course FRM is your choice. Now, one thing that I studied somewhere, and I totally agree to it, that both CFA and FRM are actually long-term investments. You are not using it for 1 year or 2 years, you will be using it for the lifetime. So referring to the point 1, which is what your core objective is and what you want to do, would be more relevant. And this consideration of more time and money requirement should be your secondary objective or secondary point when it comes to deciding between CFA and FRM exam. So these are the 3 points that you may consider while selecting between FRM, CFA. And the last thing and pro tip that we have, I know a lot of people who have done both CFA and FRM exam. So why not both? I didn't do it. Maybe I consider doing CFA, hopefully in the future. But I haven't done it. But I know a lot of people who have done both CFA and FRM exam. And the reason is that there's a lot of similarity, a lot of overlap between these curriculums. So in terms of fixed income, in terms of investments, in terms of the quant, there in terms of derivatives or financial markets and products, there is a lot of overlap. So if you have already completed FRM, or if you have completed CFA, you can always opt for the other one with an additional requirement of maybe 100 to 150 hours of more study hours. Of course, the money investment in terms of money will be there, but in terms of time, you should not be able to invest a lot of time. My ex-boss cleared both CFA and FRM in a span of 2 years. It was back in 2008 when there used to be only one exam of FRM. So I know a lot of people who can do it, who has done it, and you can do the same. So this is me signing off. If you have any point that I may have missed, or you want to add something, please feel free to add in the comment section of the video. Hope you like the video. Please like the video and hit the subscribe button as well. Thank you so much. This is Wes signing off. See you in the next video.